Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be making some home decor. I'm going to be showing you guys how I made this really cool, really huge, really amazing piece of art. It is a collage of multiple art pieces, and I'm going to show you how I did it. Ooh. Let's go ahead and get into the art. Alright guys, getting right on into the art. I wanted to show you guys the original idea I had. So I started off with a color palette. I wanted to do blue, purple, green, cream, brown, and of course black. Just as my staple theme throughout throughout my whole bedroom, because this is a piece that's going in my bedroom. And I initially was going to do 3 different pieces here. You see I am sort of designing this collage around 3 different giant posters. I don't know why I thought I was actually going to do 3 right now, but I'm not. So this is us getting started with our very first one. So what I ended up kind of doing was kind of combining all my ideas into one. So we're starting off with this picture that I drew. It was originally from an old drawing prompt that I created. Like, you just get to design 3 cards. They could be playing cards, oracle cards, tarot cards. I don't care what kind of cards they are. But today, in this video, I decided to make them playing cards. So I went with a queen and a king. And then in the middle, I decided to do the Ace of Spades. And the Queen of Hearts, which I ended up doing, is associated with like the Queen of Cups kind of vibe. So think of like emotional maturity, intuition, that type of things, like being really kind, stuff like that. The Ace of Spades is associated with the Ace of Swords vibes and energy, which is like a mental breakthrough, mental clarity, new ideas, stuff like that. That is what I think of when I think of that. And then the King of Diamonds is representative of the King of Pentacles, which is moolah, baby, financial security. Moving right along, we are getting into one of my favorite things that I drew on this collage, which are the stars. I love drawing things, celestial things with big giant eyes and big giant eye bags and sunglasses, and I got to design 3 of those for this. So I really love that. And to keep it real simple, I just kind of flipped it and reversed it and made 3 different ones off of one template. So now we're getting into the lionesses that we have. So I went to the zoo back in like 2019 and I took some of these pictures, and I decided to trace those bad boys and create these lionesses. I wanted to show you guys this the full process of me drawing this, even though this is a super old piece that I drew. I wanted to include this one because initially in my initial sketch, I had a big tiger face, and then I remembered I had these lioness pictures that I drew a few years ago. So I just went back in and I just flipped it and reversed it and made them purple, which was really cool and fun. So go back through your old art and remix them and remake them into something new. You can always do that. You can even make it better. Like, if I wanted to go back in and like make it look a little bit better, but I didn't mind how it looked. But you can always customize it however you want, you can do what you want. So I like the idea of adding like the lionesses. It gives like fierce energy. I don't know. So this was another drawing prompt that I did last year. It was like, what are we beaming up? I think that was like the prompt. I don't remember. Check out the video. So I drew this alien. If you've been here with me throughout this whole journey, shout out to you. So I just took this alien and I plopped her right in to the collage because she was already purple. I didn't have to change her at all. This is another old piece. A lot of these pieces, except the playing cards one that I showed at the beginning, I had already drawn. So I just went back in and made the colors go with the color palette that I have. So this is just a cool little robot that I drew a long time ago. I have no idea when I drew him, but I loved him and I love seeing him, and now he's on my wall in my bedroom and I wake up and I see him and I'm like, oh my god, he's so cool. So he was originally red, so I just made him green. That was it. He's really cool. I got rid of his little voice bubble that you see here with his robot speak. That's a different language there. But I did go ahead and get rid of that because it wasn't necessary for the collage. But yeah, I really like this guy. I really like the design of I liked his design, and now he's green, just like that. This was just a little fun little drawing that I did for myself a while ago. Like I said, all of these except the first one are old pictures. And this, I had a color palette that I was working with for this piece. I did 4 different colors for this entire piece, and I made this cool like jellyfish princess. That's what I like to think of her as, a jellyfish princess. And then I play around with turning her green or blue, and I ended up settling on the blue. Now we're moving on to when I was drawing characters from an anime called Black Clover. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is one of my favorite animes. Can't wait for it to come back out. I was drawing the main character with his other main character companion that turns into a bird. You gotta watch the show. I decided I was gonna keep him too. I was gonna keep Asta in the collage, but I decided to just leave the bird, and it's kind of like an Easter egg, so I didn't make it match the color theme because it's kind of like an Easter egg for myself. And so here I am. I'm just kind of going around and playing with the placement of everything, and just deciding on how I want the collage to look, seeing where I got empty spaces I could fill with different pieces, and that's when I just decided to add something different here. I was originally going to put a little sun in the corner, but I took it out. I feel like it didn't match with the vibes, maybe because it was yellow. I didn't go with the color scheme, so I ended up swapping it for the jellyfish princess. And as you see here, I'm still debating on what to do with this space, so I decided to do a cool like geometric background. Is it geometric if it's just lines? Lines are lines geometry? Girl, I don't know. But I finished it all up, and then I sent it over to Walgreens. Was it Walgreens? I think it was Walgreens. And I printed it out. I got it printed out in a 20 by 30. But as you can see here, I was trying to see and measure and figure out, because I also got this 20 by 30 frame. So something wasn't adding up here, because how is the frame 20 by 30 and the poster 20 by 30, and they're not the same size? So the poster was not exactly 20 by 30. It was 30 inches, but it was a little bit shorter than 20 inches, and it had these white borders on them that I did not see at all when I was creating the order. So maybe it was some mistake I made on my part. I'm not 100% sure, but I wasn't really happy with the white border, so I cut it off because it was not even. The sides were thick white borders, and the bottom had a small white border, and there was no white border at the top. So I just went ahead and trimmed it down, cut it off, and got rid of it because I wasn't going to let that stop this project from being completed. I went ahead and took that bad boy and threw it in the frame, and this is what it's looking like. It's looking nice and glossy and shiny. I do wish I would have maybe lightened up the purples because I feel like they're a little dark, but like you can see them better in person. It just doesn't exactly translate how I would love it to translate on camera. But yeah, so I was really excited to have this piece. Here I am putting it up in the bedroom. Those thumbtacks were just temporary, honestly. Just trying to see if it looks good. I did put something a little bit more permanent behind this, like some nails. So it is on the wall now. It's looking good. I've got some extra special editions. You're gonna have to stay tuned for those if you want to see where this wall is gonna go, because this is just the first piece on the wall. She's done. She's complete. Here she is. I love her. She's the biggest piece of art I've ever made. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.